Hey guys, welcome to our special conditioning video for Canis Athletics. Brian Breen and I put this together for you. I hope that you find some sort of benefit to it. I hope you understand the different things that we presented. It is something that you guys can do at a track. You could do it on a treadmill. I do have some footage of some clients that I've coached at the track as well. One workout in particular that I find is really amazing for any athlete skill level. It's a workout that you begin running with no weight. You then go to the middle rounds and add a weight vest. And then the ending rounds are in a weight vest and carrying a rec bag. So it's pretty cool. You can kind of see the progression of that. But this is not the last one, but certainly didn't want to inundate you with too much. As always, if you guys have questions, not really sure what I'm talking about on the videos or the little snippets of workouts that I post on the video, if you're not sure how to follow it, you know where to find me. So hopefully you guys find some benefit to it. We'll see you soon. All right, guys, so the key to any conditioning training or endurance training or any workout is you need to make sure you're properly warmed up. So we're gonna go through some of the pieces of the runner's warm-up. Again, this doesn't have to be just for running. This can be for any workout that you're doing. It's gonna help get those fast twitch muscles going, slow twitch muscles, which are both important in any kind of conditioning training, because we're gonna be moving fast, working in intervals, so we wanna make sure that everything's warmed up properly. All right, so Brian is our guinea pig today. He's just gonna start with a light jog down and back. Go ahead. All right, where'd you go? All right, so now he's going to do his high knees down and his butt kicks back. So make sure those knees are getting up nice and high, hitting those hands, okay? When he comes back, he's gonna make sure he's kicking that butt, bouncing off the top of those toes, nice and springy. Good. Now we're gonna slow it down a little bit. We're gonna do our quad stretch down and our knee hugs on the way back. You should take your time and not go as fast as Brian is going. Really get a good stretch on those quads. And he's gonna do the knee hugs on the way back. So knee right into the chest. Again, try to take your time with this stretch. No need to rush through a warm-up. It's just a warm-up. Good. All right, so we're gonna speed things up again. We're gonna go with our frog jumps. So we're gonna do 3 frog jumps. Frog jumps. So starting in that squat, landing in the squat. Okay, and now we're gonna do 3 air squats in place. All right, 3 frog jumps back. And 3 air squats in place, warming up those legs. So you should do this piece of the warm-up for at least a minute, okay? All right, now we're gonna do our soldier kick. So straight legs out, opposite hand to opposite foot. We're gonna do that down and back. All right, after those soldier kicks, we're gonna go, we're gonna do our scissor jumps all the way down. So kind of like a karaoke, except we're not karaokeing the feet. So Brian's gonna face me, so turn and face me, and then you're gonna scissor your feet all the way down. I just jumped and did it to show him. Sorry, guys. Down and back with that. All right, when Brian gets back, we're gonna do skipping for height. Watch your language. And on the way back, he's gonna do skip for distance. Good. All right. So those are just a couple pieces of warm-up things that you can do to get ready. Ideally, you want to be at a track when you're going to do some of these workouts because it's easily measurable. But if not, you want to make sure that any type of these workouts, you're able to measure out at least 400 meters. It's something that's short enough that you could do multiple times, and it's also short enough if you can maybe only make it once for beginners. Any other equipment that you might need is going to come with experience and time. So a weighted vest, dumbbells, anything like that. And we'll talk about that later on in the video. But right now we are at a dirt track. So we're going to get into some of the different drills that you guys will be able to do to help start really getting yourself conditioned for all those runs that are going to come up. Touchdown with power, touchdown with power. Turn around, come back. All right, guys, so the next thing that we're gonna show you could be considered a little bit more of an elaborate warm-up, but you can also use it as a sprinting workout, okay? So this field does not have the 10-yard lines that a normal football field would have, but ideally that's where you wanna be, okay? Brian is gonna show you what it would look like just doing the shorter distance, okay? So he's gonna start in the sprinter's position. On my go, he's gonna sprint down to the distance of what would be 10 yards. He's gonna touch down like a suicide sprint and go back to the beginning. So 3, 2, 1. Okay, so that would be your first piece. As you continue on with the workout and as you build on your endurance, the goal is to be able to do the full length of the field. So if this was an entire football field, the goal would be to be able to complete this entire field going 10 yard by 10 yard, okay? So he would go, we're gonna do one more, and then we're gonna show them if you went 2 more. You get it? Okay, so 3, 2, 1, doing his first 10-yard shuttle sprint. He touches down. He goes to the beginning. Now he's gonna go 20 yards. He's gonna touch down all the way to the beginning. Okay. And you would continue this on until you either complete the entire length of the field or as far as you can go. He had to put his hat on before he could video, even though I already got him without his hat on. So the next thing that you guys can do, especially if you're at a true track that's measured properly, each lap at a track is 400 meters, okay? So running 400s and finding a base time for what your 400 meter is a good start. So if you were at a track, I recommend that you complete 1 lap, do it as fast as you can, mark that time down, and then try to get as many of those in at that same time as you can. So what I like to do with my runners is I give them a specific goal for every single 400 meters. As soon as they're not able to meet that goal and get faster every time, they're done. Okay, so that's something that you guys can try, even if it only takes you, 2 or 3 laps to figure it out. If you're able to go longer and go 8 to 10 laps, that's great. But remember, everybody's endurance is different, everybody's capabilities are different. But start at least with the 400 meters, even if it's 1 or 2 times. I'm sure you guys are all wondering what the heck I'm talking about in that last snippet, so hang tight, I'm gonna show you what I mean. All right, so Brian just ran a 400. His time was about 1.5 minutes. So what his goal is now, for as many laps as he can, he's either gonna try to maintain that or get a little bit faster every single time. Once he is not able to get faster and he's actually slower than that first lap, he's done, his test is over, okay? Another good one on the track that's really beneficial, whether you do the full thing or half. A lot of my runners find a lot of benefit from this. It's a pyramid. So you're essentially building pyramid, right? So you have the tip of the pyramid, which is the shortest, and the bottom of the pyramid, which is the longest, okay? So the goal is to be able to go up the pyramid and come back down again. So the bottom of the pyramid is starting with an 800 meter run. all right? And then we're going to a 400-meter run and then a 200 and then working our way back, all right? So you wanna be able to do that in a relatively fast period of time. A lot of the times people are, running around the 30-minute mark because what you're doing is inserting recovery for the same distance that you've done. So if you start at the bottom of the pyramid and you start at the 800 meters, you would then recover for 800 meters. So you're gonna run as fast as you can at 800, all right? Then we're gonna recover. So recover means a light jog. If you have to walk, that's fine. Then we're gonna go to the 400, okay? So we're gonna run a 400-meter run as fast as we can, hopefully the same pace as that 800. Then we're gonna recover for 400. Then we're gonna run the 200 as fast as we can, recover for 200, and then we start the whole cycle again. So it is something that really kind of pushes the pace. It helps you kind of increase the distance as you go. But as I said, the goal is to be able to build the whole thing, but I do have many runners that only do half because it is time consuming and it is much more difficult than it sounds. So that's a good one to try. So if you guys don't want to do the pyramid and measure it in meters, you can also do it in minutes. So I'm going to post a picture for you to see how that breaks down. This one is just as beneficial. It shouldn't take you as long and you can tweak it as needed. So sometimes I know for me, depending on how I'm measuring a workout, whether it's meters, time, calories, whatever, some are a little easier to deal with mentally than others. So take a look. One of the other things that's really going to help your conditioning is adding weight to any of these workouts. So if you have a weighted vest or a ruck bag, doesn't really matter what the weight is, even if you're able to hold a dumbbell, as long as you're doing it safely. Sometimes when we weigh ourselves down and slow ourselves down, it actually helps us in the long run, literally and figuratively. So if you run a 400 in the vest and say it's 2 minutes, likely when you take the vest off, your 400 is going to be even faster. Just be careful because when you're adding weight, that can be a little bit more taxing on the legs and on the shins, so just make sure you're warmed up properly. If you've never worked with weight before, I suggest doing these workouts without it first, and then as you get efficient, definitely start adding weight. That's it, get to me, come on. There you go. Another thing that you guys can do is adding different types of movements to your sprints, okay? So, for example, the workout that Brian is going to show you is a 200-meter sprint. Once he gets back from that 200-meter sprint, he's going to do 10 burpees and 15 air squats. So the whole point of throwing those in there is obviously to tax you, but also those air squats should serve as a little bit of recovery so that you're able to sprint that 200 again. Giving this workout to somebody, I'd probably have them do it 4 to 5 rounds unless they were really seasoned, and I may double that for somebody who's really looking to increase pacing capacity. All right, so Brian is just finishing his 200-meter sprint. He's slowing his pace right at the end, so that way he can go right into those burpees. So he's gonna do 10 burpees, try to do them unbroken. After those 10 burpees, you're gonna go right into 15 air squats and really use those air squats to kind of get your heart rate down. Not too much because you need to be ready to sprint again, but it is a little bit of a recovery, okay? So workouts like this have built-in recovery, but what happens, I tell you guys this all the time in class, if there's built-in recovery, it means the rest of it needs to be quick. So that's just a little taste of what you guys can start working on. I guess you could call it an introductory video to the track. And in the coming weeks, we'll try to put some more stuff together for you, but hopefully these are movements you can follow along with. If you have questions, you know where to find us. Hopefully the weather will cooperate and you can get outside and do this stuff relatively soon. But just let us know if you're confused. Don't be overwhelmed. We hope this is simple enough, and we hope you enjoy it. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you have questions.